Hello from the car. This is going to wind up being a vlog, so I'm starting the vlog in the car with Krista. We have to run a bunch of errands, but we're at the mall because Bath & Body Works has Halloween stuff. And I want to look at it, but I'm not buying anything because we really don't need any of it. But I want to see what it looks like. So we're gonna do that. Then we need to grocery shop and run by Target. But yes, so the vlog is starting with Bath & Body Works, and then I'll talk to you about other things because I started a book and I really like it, but I'll get to that later.
Buy blue shoes.
There you go. To Bath & Body Works. Blah, 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 blah. I can't talk today. Okay, we're gonna move to the front. I'm gonna pan real quick. This is not my favorite scent.
Like the bottles are pretty cool. But I don't know.
Really? What? Is it secretly vampire blood with a new name?
No. Not bad.
I'll have to smell it. The vampire blood candles look cool. Body mist. Okay, I'll come to that side.
Do you ladies look for things to sit at? She knows Halloween. I think this is my favorite Halloween so far.
I want this for fall. Like the ball that wearing this butterscotch stuff. That was neat. That was like fall. This is doing all that just to put a candle.
It's very koshy.
It does smell
Actually,
good.
puncher and still binding citrus.
Ooh. Little bag.
Someone will actually buy it.
Hey, it's so safe.
What did it say? Ta-da! This was an unplanned purchase, but Walmart had a Beetlejuice crop top. So I got it. I sized up though, so it definitely won't be cropped on me, but it's very cute. It says Beetlejuice, which is a little hard to see on camera because of the stripes. But I got that, and then we succeeded in our Target mission, and I think it's in the closet room. So I might pop in there and show you that too. But we got that, and I'll just show you that. We did not find blue tennis shoes for Krista, and I'll explain more on that later. I got clocked in the head by a very large dog who did not mean to clock me in the head, so I'll get into it in a sec. Just, my brain is scrambled. But yes, very cool shirt. I will show you the Target thing, and then update you on other things, possibly tomorrow, because I need to cook dinner. And this was the Target mission, so this is the Ghost. So this is not the super massive one from Amazon, because apparently there was one that was like twice this price on Amazon. It came with like a pop-out Phantom and some Y-Wings, I think is what Krista said. But we wanted the Ghost, so we got the Target version, and then it comes with Zeb, Kanan, Hera, and Sabine. But it's huge. It's bigger than the Falcon one. Oh, now it doesn't want to focus. There you go. It's bigger than the Falcon we have, but this one also makes lights and like has lights and sound, which is very cool. But I'm tired. I really gotta cook. It's like 8:30 at night, so I'm gonna go. I'll update you on the book, which I'll probably have done. Again, I'm reading. I didn't even tell you. I'm reading Woman Eating, but I'll talk to you about it tomorrow. But I just wanted you to see the ghost because it looks really, really cool. And yeah, I gotta go make dinner. So I will talk to you tomorrow when I've had coffee and I'm less hungry, hopefully. Good morning. I'm updating you for my kitchen because 1, I'm putting coffee in a cup, but 2, I'm going to talk about women eating, and it felt like I should do it in a kitchen. There's so many things to tell you. Oh, so let's do women eating. Then I'll talk about Bath & Body Works, and then I will explain blue shoes because that all shouldn't take too long. So I borrowed women eating on Libby because it came up in a do your worst Jan Agaton thing, but she didn't read it. Her friend Noelle did, and it is a vampire book, but not like a traditional vampire book. It's kind of like slice of life. We're following a character named Lydia who goes by Lids. And she, for the first time in her life, she is 18, is going to live separately from her mother. So she has put her mom in like a sort of retirement home because she's having an issue, the mother, remembering like who she is, who Lydia is. And while she technically got her tested for Alzheimer's, her mom is a vampire. So that's really not exactly what it is. Lydia thinks her mom is having some kind of midlife vampire crisis. But she put her in this facility and she's trying to live a life on her own for the first time. Now the issue is her mom was always in charge of their food. So her mom always made sure that they had pig's blood because that's what Lydia's been drinking since she was an infant. And I'm not going to get into that too much because she does explain. But as it turns out, Lydia can't get a hold of pig's blood. So the story really focuses on how Lydia is consistently very, very hungry and then trying to figure out how to eat, what to do. And then on top of fixating on her own need for blood, she's also very focused on what humans eat, because in her mind, because her father was a human, she is half human, half demon, and she wants to at a certain point feed the human over the demon. So she like watches all of these like day in the life eating vlogs, that kind of thing, and like ASMR videos with eating, just to like feel like no food. She also has an internship, so we follow her for part of the internship, and she's moved in quotes, to this like writers co-op-y thing, but she's not technically supposed to live there, and she totally is. I just like was so interested in it. Like her point of view was so good, and it was just like so interesting to read, and I was just so engaged. Also, I have always wanted a vampire book to talk about Buffy, and she freaking talks about Buffy all the time, like she's watching it on her laptop, and it was delightful. It just made me smile a lot. So I thought it was really enjoyable. I would say it has a similar tone to A Dowry of Blood, though it's not epistolary. So I can see why Jane really likes it. I thought it was really good. And I would highly recommend it, but I needed to read it because I got it from Libby and had to return it. And actually I have to return it in the next couple of days, but I'm gonna return it today. So next book I'll be reading is a book I actually said I wasn't gonna vlog, and apparently I am now, is Salem's Lot. I attempted to start Salem's Lot first and then was like, oh my god, Salem's Lot is over 500 pages. I should read Woman Eating first because it's shorter and they're due on the same day. So I'm going to start that today, though I literally have 2 days of the Libby hold left because someone else wants the book. But I'm going to get a hold of a copy of it tonight, I think. So I'll be able to read it physically still. So I am going to start it, and then once my Libby hold is out, I'll just switch to the other copy. So you're getting a Salem's Lot vlog, which I guess means this is a vampire vlog, I suppose. I don't know. That was not planned. It's just what I have to read. I'm gonna take a sip of this. This is cold coffee. It's Joffrey's. I called it the Maleficent blend, which technically it is. It's the dragon's, like dragon blend or something. But I made it yesterday, so it would be cold for today. But I have a little left in this cup, so I'm gonna keep drinking it while I finish talking. So, yes, so Salem's Lot is next. And then I showed you all the Bath & Body stuff. So I love going to see what Bath & Body does for their Halloween line every year. This year, they had so many displays. They have a bunch of new, like, candle holders, and they have some new scents. One, like, body scent, and then a new candle the Spooky Bootini. I think Krista mentions it when we're walking around. It smells really good, and it's like blue and has little skeletons on the front. That smelled really good. My favorite scent is Vampire Blood. Of all of them, I think Wolverine is fine, but it's not a scent that I would wear all the time. And then they have a caramel apple one, and I didn't really smell that one, which is surprising because I like caramel apple, but I just like, there are so many other things to look at. So I'm sure I'll be back because I don't need any body products, because when Vampire Blood was released as a body product, I bought a bunch of it, and I don't need any more. So I do need candles at some point, but I'm waiting for a 3-wick sale. But I want to get Vampire Blood, Pumpkin Carving, probably the Bootini one, and then I'll probably re-smell the caramel apple one, or smell it at all, because I really don't think I smelled it, even though that was my whole plan and I totally forgot. What else? Oh, the new guy. So the new scent is technically for guys, technically. The salesperson was like, oh, it's a men's scent, but like anyone can wear it. And what's interesting is their men's products are normally in like very specific packaging so that it doesn't look like it came from Bath & Body. But this one is in just a regular lotion bottle, like any of their lotions are in, and it's called Immortal. And so at first I thought they rebranded Vampire Blood, but no, it has a different scent, but it smells pretty good in the bottle. And then I put a tiny bit of it on my skin just to see, because you know some scents smell different on your skin. Once it went on my skin, it literally just smelled like Old Spice. So I don't know if I can recommend that you get it. I feel like you just get like Old Spice lotion and it's way cheaper. But anyway, I now feel like it's supposed to be what Edward Cullen smells like or something, because it was like immortal with like blood drips. Other things, hold on. It is early and I have only had this much caffeine so far, guys. Folks, people, beings. Ugh. I normally don't say guys, but I feel like that happens all the time now, and I'm sorry. I normally say folks. Like, I try and actively say folks. So if I say guys, I'm sorry. I will try and correct myself because I want to be inclusive. So, folks. But, Brayton. What else? But all the displays were cool. The eyeball stuff was wild. There are also a ton of plugins that were really cool. We already have enough plugins. We have plenty of stuff. I really just wanted to go look at it and then scope out the candles for when there is a sale, because some of the candles are very pretty and have like super decorative lids, but while I like the design of some of the super decorative ones, if they're more expensive than the standard one, even if I don't really like the label, I'll probably buy the standard one instead, solely because I have a candle holder that has ghosts all over it, so it's going to be in a candle holder anyway and you can't really see the label, so it doesn't really matter what the label looks like. But I will let you know if I smell the caramel apple one at some point. I believe, actually I know we're going to a mall on Thursday, a different mall that also has a Bath & Body Works, so maybe we'll pop in there really fast. I don't know. I'm sure we'll be back at this mall. Actually, I know we're going back to this mall, my local mall, this weekend, because we're going to see Deadpool and Wolverine. We're seeing another movie on Thursday, and I will talk to you about that at a later date, because it's going to be exciting. But I don't want to go into it now. I have so many things I have to catch you up on. Okay. That's all the Bath & Body Works things, I think. If you went to Bath & Body Works and have like a favorite scent or whatever for Halloween, let me know, because I'm always so curious. I just really like Vampire Blood a lot. I have it in spray and body mist and like a shimmer mist and lotion. And I also have a couple other shimmer mists. I have a Ghoul Friend shimmer mist from like 2 years ago, and I have a Pumpkin Carving shimmer mist, which is delightful, and I wear it closer to Halloween. But there you go. I think that's all of that. All right, everyone. Hold on. Memory buffering. I also got conked in the head by a dog yesterday. Parker accidentally jumped up while I was leaning over and he hit me in the head. So like my head's a little sore. Oh, the blue shoes thing. I did tell you. Cats, what are you doing? I have a cat climbing through a rack. A rack. Not a rat. That would be disgusting. There are no rats. I don't even have any toy rats. No, I don't have a toy rat. No, he's climbing through this rack that has a bunch of stuff on it, and I don't know what the heck he is doing. Ugh, I'll have to go investigate in a sec. The last thing, because I told Krista that I would tell you about the blue shoe thing. She did actually find blue shoes. She got off-brand Chucks for $21 because actual Chucks were like $71, which is wild because you could get other colors for cheaper in town. So, and I know they didn't sell out here, but there's a thing on social media that if you're voting blue, you should wear blue shoes until the election. and that's what she is going to do, at least as much as she can because of work. But yes, so she bought blue shoes. We're going to share the blue shoes because I own Chucks. None of them are blue. And I just bought new cute shoes that are Beetlejuice that I showed in the last video, and I really want to wear those once we get to winter. Well, fall. Geez, I'm jumping seasons now. So she was like, but you should wear blue shoes too. And I was like, yes, but also you just like, and I bought Hocus Pocus shoes. Like I literally just bought 2 new pairs of shoes, and I was like, but like November, like the lead up to November is when I was gonna wear these new shoes, and you already know what I'm doing voting wise. I'm sorry. So she bought them. She was like, we can share them though. So we're about the same shoe size. So that's what the blue shoes mean. Just making you aware, because I said I would. I'm not telling you have to buy them. It is entirely up to you. Also, I'm gonna guess blue is important to you if you're watching this, because why else would you be watching a married gay woman talk about random books that are mostly queer? 99, well, like 50% of the time the books are queer, or I read them queerly, like The Eyes of the Best Part, where she's definitely gay, dang it. But anyway, I think that's everything. Everyone, please, I hit all my talking points, right? Bath and Body Works, woman eating, blue shoes, informing you that Salem's Lot is next. Oh, I guess, no, I'm gonna keep you on your toes about the thing we're doing tomorrow. Also the cat stopped being weird, so I guess I don't need to investigate, but I need to go get ready for work, in that I need to go upstairs and put my hair up and get my computer turned on, and take my coffee. So I am currently drinking out of these gifted cups from my, well, one of the gifted cups for my sister, but these are from like last year, 2 years ago. Time is a nebulous thing. She found them and she was like, don't buy them, because she was afraid that I would buy them at Starbucks. So I've never really gone to Starbucks, but these cups are very cute, so I'm still going to use them because I own them. I am going to be drinking my coffee out of my Spirit Halloween tumbler because I can. And it's a fun cup. So I think that is everything. I'm sorry this update was so long, but I had like 3 big things to talk about, and then I went on a tiny tangent because my brain is tired. But yes, so I'll be reading Salem's Lot. I don't know how much of that will get read during lunch or anything. I am going to read some tonight because Krista has work, so I'll be reading while she's at work, so that will get some done. It's just a very hefty book. Mr. King, I have thoughts about your hefty books sometimes. I'm also, as an aside, I think in August I'm going to attempt to read It. I have seen the miniseries and I have somehow only seen the first of the It movies, the like newer ones. I don't know. It's probably because, actually I do know why I haven't. When I watch the miniseries, I hate when they're adults. I was like, I don't care that you're adults. This is so much scarier when you're children. And so when they made the second movie, I was like, oh, I'm very interested in the second movie. And then I never watched it because I was like, oh, you're adults. Just, I don't know what's wrong with me. But I think I'm gonna do it because I really wanted to read it before Halloween this year. And somehow like August, like back to schoolish time, I was like, oh, somehow weirdly that feels like the perfect time to try and read it for the first time. But I gotta go to work. Sorry about all the tangents. I'm sorry this was long. I will talk to you later, and I promise the next clip will not be this long. Hello. I told you my hair would be up the next time you saw me. I had my blue light glasses on, but I'm taking them off real quick because my lunch break is about to end, and so it's really goofy to film with the setup and my glasses on. Weird things reflect. But I read like a teeny itty bitty bit of Salem's Lot. I'm really not far at all. The opening of the book surprised me because we're like with a man and a boy, and they're like on the run, and like on the run-ish, and then they're in Mexico, and then they say they're going back, and all we know is that the man always reads his paper from Portland, Maine, and there's an article about a ghost town that was Jerusalem's Lot, or New Jerusalem, which they call Salem's Lot, and so they're going back to Salem's Lot. And I just got to, is it part 1, the Marston house. So I'm with Ben Mears. We haven't really gotten anything, just that he's surprised the Marston house is still there. That's really as far as I've gotten. I'm really not far in at all. But I just thought I would let you know that I started it. I'm also wearing, for right now, this cute Snoopy as a vampire shirt because I thought it would be clever. And oh yeah, I found this guy. I got him a couple of Halloweens ago, but this is Vlad and he's very squishy. And I'll probably have him around during this video because I can prop my head up on him and he's very cozy. But yeah, I found him. I thought he was perfect for this. I am very sure the vampires in Salem's Lot are not your traditional vampires. I will say, so what was I watched, I didn't finish, and if you did finish it, you can spoil it for me and I will not be upset. I watched part of the Castle Rock show. So it was this series that they did, it was on Hulu, I think it was only on Hulu, where it was a bunch of Stephen King books and they were all connected to each other. Ah, I still don't put my rings on. I'm gonna do that while I'm talking to you. I did dishes before lunch and I did dishes before coming up here after Krista and I finished eating. And I left my rings off because I was gonna have soapy water all over them. And I keep forgetting to put them back on. Ta-da! They're back. But in that, the first season has nothing to do with Salem's Lot. But I bring it up because, so in the first season, there's like, is it like a missing boy and a serial killer or something? I don't know. The first season was interesting enough, but I was really only watching it because, well, one, they put Bill Skarsgård? Skarston. It's not Skarston. The guy who plays it, the Pennywise. He plays Pennywise in the new movies. He was in it, and I thought that was really interesting because he's already in a canonical Stephen King production. Like, he's in a movie already. And so I thought it was interesting that he was in this because I was like, well, are they going to tie it into the movie? Because I don't know. I still don't know if they wound up doing that, but I don't think so. But like, he's like a man in a cage in the first season. I'm not going to get into it any further. It's like very complicated and time travel-y, and I'm sure it's inspired by something by Stephen King I haven't read. And then the second season was the Misery season, and I was like really invested because I love the movie Misery, and I think the character of Annie Wilkes is really interesting, and Annie Wilkes was like the focus, I thought, for season 2. And so, because she was all over the posters, and it was her real name is not I'm not gonna remember anyone's name today. She plays Janice Ian in the original Mean Girls. Why? Lizzie Kaplan. Haha, I did remember. She's in it as Annie Wilkes. So I was like, ooh, this could be like really cool. I think she'd be really good. So like, I started watching, I watched all of season 1, thinking they'd be connected. They weren't really. They're kind of standalone-y. A little bit like, actually a little bit like different, is it Channel 11? I may just be saying random shows. There was a show on Sci-Fi where like the first season involved a creepy kids television show, but then the next season is something completely different, and like each season subsequently is something different. Also a little bit like how there's a Haunting of Hill House and then there was a Haunting of Bly Manor, blah blah blah. Anyway, back to this. So watch first season. Second season doesn't really have anything to do with it, but Annie Wilkes is the focus for some of the episodes. And like the Annie Wilkes stuff was really cool, but the issue is then they like flipped into Salem's Lot, and the Salem's Lot stuff, while it was happening, was primarily in French, which really threw me for a loop because I had it on as background noise during work and I don't speak French. So I was like, I can't even context clue this gentleman because I can't look at you like I'm working. So I couldn't watch it. Like, I literally had to just be like, I'm calling it. Too much of this is in French and I can't have it on in the background. And I just like, it's not a show that Krista and I are going to watch together. So I just called it. That's what I did. But the issue is that it felt like it was a sequel to Salem's Lot. Because like everything, that's what's confusing for me. Because the Annie Wilkes stuff felt like a prequel to Misery. Because she has a kid. So I was like, okay, it's a prequel maybe? And then I was like, okay, is this a Salem's Lot prequel then? And I was like, but I don't know enough about Salem's Lot to know what's happening because I have never watched any of it. Actually, I take that back. I have seen less than 10 minutes of one of the movies because a million years ago, I have a rook piercing right here. The lower part of my rook piercing, like the lower ball, popped off, and I caught it, like it awkwardly fell down my shirt while Krista and I were at a casino, and like it was staying in, but I needed someone to reattach it because I couldn't do it. And I wound up going to a tattoo parlor in a small town near us, and the guy was like, oh yeah, I'll just put it in for you real quick, no problem. And I was like, okay, thank you. And he was watching Salem's Lot because he'd been doing like a multi-hour tattoo, and he literally like was like, oh, this guy's gonna take a break, I'll do this real quick. And like that's what happened. The guy was like taking a break from his multi-hour tattoo, and he put it in, and during the time I was waiting for this like stopping point so he could fit me in, he had it on. So I saw bits and pieces while I was waiting, and then bits and pieces while my head was tilted to the side because like the TV was right here and I had to turn my head all the way so he had a good angle on my head. So there you go. That's all I have seen of Salem's Lot. You're welcome. You're welcome for this in-depth knowledge of Kevin. This is going to be as long as the other clip if I don't shut up. That's all I know of Salem's Lot. I know there are vampires, and it was mentioned in Nestlings, which we're never talking about again. So yeah, I have very limited knowledge. So I am interested to see how the vampires work in this. I don't know anything about them at all. And that's as far as I am. And I won't really get any farther until way later tonight. So I just thought I would update you because I won't update you again until probably tomorrow because Krista is working. We have to do some stuff tonight where we won't be home, and I don't feel comfortable bringing my camera. So I'm just not. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh, check out my very cool cup from Salem. It is too hot for hot coffee, but I have a headache and I didn't have any cold coffee I wanted to open. Like I have one to open and I didn't want to open it yet, but it says 1692 and it says Salem Witch Museum, and I can't really show you the inside, but it's this witch and her little cat and her broom. It's printed all along the inside. The inside's white and it's all in black. But I made a little cup of coffee that's just gonna like hang out there and cool down. So I will talk to you tomorrow when I have Salem's Lot updates and when Krista and I are going to do the fun thing that I told you about. And that's it. That is all I have for you for right now. I am actually going to start work because my lunch break is now officially over. And I'm going to work in my sports bra because it's too hot in here and you don't get to see that. Sorry, you get to see me in t-shirts. So I'm gonna go do work. And I have a bunch of Gavin Reads It All on in the background. I've watched all of his Goosebumps ones again. I cannot freaking wait for his Fear Street one. I am so freaking excited. Like, you don't even know. You don't know how excited I am for that. Like, I know I'm gonna rewatch that one so many times because I have rewatched the Goosebumps one, the Secret Circle one, and the Vampire Diaries ones so many times. They're delightful and wonderful, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. But I gotta go because this clip is already too long. So I will talk to you sometime tomorrow. Probably in the car. Probably in the car. Bye. Hello. I didn't bring my tripod down. I'm gonna put makeup on in a little bit, but not yet. Alright, I was watering. I'm actually dressed for going out and about because I don't have work today. So Krista and I were initially gonna try and take a trip today, tomorrow, and like over the weekend, but that didn't happen. Like we were looking at pricing and we're like, oh, that's not gonna work. So I just happen to have today and tomorrow off because the goal was to try and plan a trip. Well, we're not going anywhere really. We are briefly going like an hour away at like 10. So I'll update you on that when we're in the car. But right now I'm making coffee, which you just saw, and one of my favorite mugs, I have two of them actually. They're from Big Lots and they hold like 20 ounces of coffee. But they say vampire blood on the front and they're very fun. And you got to see the copy of Salem's Lot that I'm borrowing. This book was $1.95 when it came out. $1.95. That's so wild to me. Oh, I gotta push button. I didn't have my tripod and I didn't care enough to go get it. So I am on chapter 8. Which is Ben 3, not Ben the third. It just means it's Ben's third set of chapters, or third chapter set. I don't want to spoil anything in case you haven't read it, but I have gotten to the point where vampires actually are very present. Some members of the town. Let's see what's on here. Do they mention fear of diabolical corruption? Oh, there is very little on that synopsis. So yes. The vampires have definitely arrived, though we have met them, and they are primarily, that we know of, well, we met one of them, whose name is like Staker, which totally sounds like Stoker. Maybe Straker. Maybe it's Straker. Yeah, actually, I think it's Straker. There's so many names in this book. So a lot of the setup of this book is just telling you a lot of people who live in town, and I am really bad at names. So I am not going to remember them all. I can, like, in context figure out who's who, but just the names, it's so many. There was like a whole chapter of just the schedule of the town, and it was just names. And I was like, oh no. But yeah, so we have met the vampires. We know who they are. A scene occurred, which I think is supposed to show that more vampires are in Salem's Lot. And some vampire-y things are happening to people. But that's all I'll tell you, because Salem's Lot is a vampire book, so that's not really a spoiler. But yeah, so that's how far I am. Ben Mears is an author, so I think he is probably the most like Stephen King. Because he's an author, he's writing a book about this house that he remembers going into when he was a kid. And the house is thought to be haunted. And he had a creepy experience as a kid. I'm gonna go because I'm waiting for a package. And hopefully it comes early because frequently FedEx does that to me. But yeah, so that's where I am. There's Ben Mears and Susan. We met some other people, but some of them I think are not long for this earthly human world. So those two are important. And Ben I think is gonna really be important since he's been given the most chapter time. So yeah. Also, I don't know that we've actually met again the tall man and the young man, unless they're set. They have to be set after this. So, I know who the tall man is now. I'm not gonna tell you. But I don't know who the young man is. So I do know who the tall man is. That makes sense. Duh. Should put that together faster. Thank you for helping me process who the tall man is in this book. But yeah, so that whole intro part was set before the events of the story. So there we go. But I gotta go. I gotta see if this is the package I'm waiting for. So I will talk to you later. Definitely in the car when we're headed to the thing we're going to. It's so cool. Yes, I'm filming it. It's cool. I built a model of this car when I was a kid. That's so awesome. Oh, hi. Since I'm recording.
Now, get us up, okay?
Yes, you're good. Sorry, Krista was being nice and letting me see that car up close. We are headed to Destiny USA in Syracuse. And we're going to go see Twisters in 40X because it's the last showing at 11:25, 11:30, somewhere in there. But we're not too far away. But I did tell you I would like say what we were doing today. So that's what we're doing. We're seeing Twisters in 40X, and after we see it, we will tell you all about it. Also, I wore this, and Krista is matching it wearing a slumpy shirt. So yes, we're very adorable. And we're gonna go see this movie where we get sprayed with water and there are fans and the seats move. So it'll be wild, and we'll tell you all about it later. Hello! Krista is driving, as per usual. So 40X was very cool, except Krista hurt her back. So, not at 40X. 40X was not to blame for the back. Krista hurt her back this morning, and we'd already bought the tickets, and it was a sold out show, and it was the last time you could see Twisters at all in 40X, at least here. So we went anyway, and you were okay for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You got bucked around a lot. So like if you've never done a 40X, which we had never done one before, this was like a first time thing. It's basically like
A roller coaster.
Yeah. So I was gonna say it reminded me a little of this like
Soarin' meets a roller coaster, but with virtual reality, where you're in your seat and you're not actually going on like.
Yeah.
But you get lifted up off the ground.
Yeah, the seat's
an angle, like it's all sorts of things.
Yeah, and you get like hit in the back, and like the bottom of your seat moves, and you get sprayed with water, and there's wind, and this one had smoke. And then to like test it so you can like see what could happen depending on your movie, they let off like fake snow, they did bubbles before the movie started, like they did all this stuff. But it was really cool. The movie is absolutely insane to see.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, there were just so many things saying like it was the best way to see the movie.
It was right.
Yeah, so like we'd seen it without that, and like it's still a good movie, but seeing it in 40X was just wild. We have no idea how people had food or beverages though, because I don't see how you hold on to that at all. Like even with the drink cup holder, because you're moving.
Yeah, it's sideways and it's just
yeah. So we did that, and then we grabbed lunch at P.F. Chang's. I think they built that themselves.
I think so. It doesn't look great.
No, it doesn't. We just passed what looks like, what are they? They're like the silver, it was the shape of the silver kind, like a silver camper that you attach to your car. It was someone's made completely out of plywood.
Yeah.
It looked very weird. Yeah, so we did that, and then we got P.F. Chang's, and now we're headed home because we
It's not
need to
even
take the dogs
fused
out.
to like their cab. It's just strapped down.
Yeah, it was very dangerous looking. But yeah, so it was a really, really, really good movie, especially in 4DX. And then P.F. Chang's, which was okay. Krista's was better than mine.
Stay away from the crab wonton.
Yeah. And that was really it, because the movie was pretty long. So
So many more trailers.
Yes, there's a
in this
lot
one
of
than
trailers.
in the regular movie one.
Yeah, there were a bunch, and like trailers we didn't see. Like we got the Colleen Hoover trailer, the something about the
Pope.
Yeah, which I'm sure if you want to see something about the Papal Conclave, that's great, but I'm good. In case you didn't know, if a pope dies or decides to step down, they hold a conclave in which all the cardinals have to meet. They have to pick a new pope, and then they're basically sequestered away until they determine who the new pope will be by voting. And then if they choose the new pope, it's white smoke, I think, and red smoke means the vote went poorly. They have to let off a lot of smoke depending on how many times they vote. I was raised Catholic. This is a whole thing that we went through a couple of times, and it's just it's boring. Like. This is supposed to be like an action movie about the Papal Conclave or something, like a thriller. And I was like, it's the Papal Conclave, I'm good. They did, sorry, I keep coughing now. They did Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine, but that was like the test trailer. So that's the next movie that they're doing in 4DX. And so they timed the trailer, like the trailer had its own 4DX experience. So I think to like ease you into the movie and to give you a general idea of what it would be like if you went to see that one next. But yeah, Trap, we got one for the M. Night Shyamalan movie, which we'll probably go see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was fun. We did some photos because they did a Twister photo op that they like made that. It was like a Twister with like lights in it and stuff. It was really cool. But we did photos, and yeah, that was really it. So now we're headed home because we need to let the dogs out, and then we're probably gonna take a nap because we're both tired because we're full of Chinese food. So yeah, so I'll update you later on whatever I wind up updating you on. I'm not sure. Still reading Salem's Lot. I read a little bit more before we went to the movie. Again, vampires have arrived. The vampires are kind of becoming a pandemic of sorts.
Isn't there a movie we could watch?
Yeah, we'll have to find it. I think there might be a couple. I'll have to look because I think there's a movie and a miniseries maybe. But I forget who's in the movie. I feel like there's someone in the movie.
Are we all breaking?
I don't know. I'm gonna go because we are rapidly breaking for some reason. But yeah, so I'll update you later. But we'll probably watch the Salem's Lot movie. I just have to figure out which one is the best one or which one we'd enjoy the most.
Oh, we finished Presumed Innocent, the series.
Right. We were watching Presumed Innocent on
Very
Apple
different
Plus.
from the movie.
Yes. It has Jake Gyllenhaal in it. He's playing the role that Harrison Ford played in the original movie. And it's an attorney who is charged with the murder of another DA. So yes, it was good. But yeah, it finale yesterday. And so we will talk to you later about something. Not sure what right now. Just something. Bye. Hello! For me and my Deadpool shirt. It's a Valentine's shirt, but I feel like this is perfect for Wolverine and Deadpool because it's Deadpool and Wolverine together. I was gonna have Krista talk too, but I told her we can't give any spoilers for the movie, and she was like, don't let me talk. So the movie was very good. I will say as an aside, this is not really a spoiler. You should watch Logan beforehand if you haven't seen it. They make a lot of references to Logan. And sadly, Krista and I did not watch that one. I'd seen it, but Krista hasn't.
So we're gonna watch it tonight.
Yes, because she hadn't seen it, and I didn't realize they were going to talk about it so often at the beginning of the movie. So if you haven't seen Logan and you haven't seen Deadpool yet by the time I post this, you should watch Logan before you go. But yeah, it was really good. I don't want to spoil anything so you don't get to know anything. Just that it was very good. It was really funny. He does say at one point, I'm going to Disneyland, which is clever because they have him at Avengers Campus in California and in Paris right now. At least as of recording this, that's where Deadpool is. But yeah, it was really good. And we splurged and got popcorn bucket and the cup combo, not the Regal baby Deadpool in a bucket, because it wasn't gonna really hold popcorn, so it would just be a display piece. But we weren't going to get anything, and then the bucket actually has a lid, so we can actually use it for stuff. Yes, and it's a metal one, because they haven't done metal ones since Guardians?
I think so.
And then the rest of them have been plastic, or they haven't had anything at all. So we got the bucket, and it came with a cup, but they didn't have any Deadpool toppers for the cup, so we have Wolverine in a movie theater seat eating popcorn, which is still cute. They just either didn't get Deadpools or they're out of Deadpools. But yeah, so it was fun. Although, when did movie prices become so expensive? I feel very old, but like our movie was 30 bucks for just the two of us to go to the movie at 10 a.m. They completely stopped doing their $7 before noon deal. And every single movie at our theater was a different price. So like, it didn't matter what time. Like Deadpool was either $15.95 before noon, and then it turned into $18.95. And then any other movie that you picked like was a random price. Like the one about the moon landing was $12. Quiet Place was still $15, but like all the kids movies, adult tickets were like $11, $12 as the matinee price, and then went up a little in the evening. But I'm like, what? I didn't know we were charging different prices for different movies. I didn't know that was happening. I know that was talked about in an article, but I thought that got shot down because people wouldn't like it, but apparently they did it anyway. We used to have Regal Unlimited, so I didn't know, but we weren't going enough to pay off Regal Unlimited, so whatever. But the movie was really good, even though I was very mad we had to pay $30. Like, Krista can attest, I was very grouchy about this. But we went anyway, and we got the bucket, so they got a lot of our money. But yeah, but we're running errands, so I thought I would just film really fast, give you our updates, show off my Valentine's Deadpool shirt, and yeah, that is really it. It was very good. I don't want to spoil anything, but you should watch Logan beforehand, is all I'm gonna say. Yes.
And the other two Deadpools.
Yes, and the other two Deadpools, because they make references to both of them. A lot to the second one. I felt like that one came up a lot. So just make sure you're refreshed and ready. But yeah, so if you go, let us know what you thought of it, on top of other things that I'll probably ask you throughout this video to say. But yeah, I will talk to you later, probably randomly, I don't know when. I'm still reading Salem's Lot. I think I have 170 pages left. A lot of things have happened. I'll get into that at a later point. So I will talk to you later about Salem's Lot. Hello, I am in my kitchen. I am no longer wearing my Deadpool shirt. I am wearing this super oversized Goosebumps shirt that I wear all the time as a pajama shirt. It's so soft, so comfy. My sister got it for me, like on super sale, I think at TJ Maxx, at least 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not even sure, but it's so comfortable. Anyway, I am making dinner, so it's gonna sound bougier than it is. So I thought, since I wanted to update you on Salem's Lot, because I only have like 80 pages left, that I would just talk to you while dinner is in the oven. So first, I'm going to pour myself some red wine. This is from a local winery, or local-ish, called Vice Vineyards. It's Vice, like Janet, Vice, from Rocky Horror. Not that that's what it's named after, but I love a moment where I can reference Rocky Horror. And I'm using an ever fashionable plastic stemless tumbler from Walmart. It says Slay All Day and it has a little knife. This cup is, oh, you're missing the casual pour. Doing a hefty, there we go, hefty pour. So this is dog hair. So I need to recork that. I don't have a fancy recorker, I'm just shoving the cork in. But Rocky Horror had nothing to do with this, but Janet Weiss, but whatever. Poured that, because I'll be in here with food. So we're having Wellingtons, but please note, I did not make these from scratch. They're from a company. Krista ordered 4 from them a little while ago. We have eaten them before, so we've had 2 of them, and we had 2 left. And so I mention Every Plate a lot. Again, totally not sponsored. We just were getting them. And so Krista picks out our meals every week, and she was saying that like every week the picks were getting not as good. Like so few picks weren't going to add like an extra amount to the box. So she was like, hey, maybe we should consider canceling, because like it's $68, but a lot of the meals we're not super jazzed about, or like we haven't really been enjoying them unless I like completely tweak them or like add stuff. So I was like, no, that's totally fine. But we went to cancel and we had a box left. And they were like, no, it's already being like, technically already being prepped. It wasn't, but whatever. They're like, no, you didn't contact us before the cancellation date, so we are going to be sending you a box. And we're like, okay, that's fine, whatever. Krista was like, none of the meals are particularly great, but I picked them. And then we had like, we'd canceled it before and like re-signed up. When we re-signed up, we were getting a free like steak pack, like a set of steaks every week. So I was like, oh, that's fine, we'll at least have steak and then I'll do whatever with the other stuff. The box showed up and it was absolutely trashed. So like there were 2 massive holes in it. The ice packs were leaking out of the bottom. The box was dented in so far that when I went to lift it, like the tape started coming off. Like it was just not good. Like definitely not okay. We couldn't eat any of the food in it because I was like, the ice packs have been leaking this whole time. Like, I don't know if they leaked in the box. I don't know if they've only leaked out of the box. Also, it looked like the box had been like dropped out of the truck and like rolled or been dragged somehow. There's like this huge gray, like rip up the side of the box. It was so bad. And we've had delivery issues before, and this is not on Every Plate. Like delivery issues are on the company that delivers them. And which is weird because we get them from UP. We were getting them from FedEx and we had to change it because FedEx started leaving them outside of our fence. So like they were just leaving them almost by the side of the road. And we're like, no, please stop having them deliver. And they skipped deliveries. Like they literally didn't deliver it like 2 weeks in a row. They showed up like 2 days late. It was really bad. So we're like, oh, we'll do UPS. We at least know their route. And like we would be completely fine. And then like a random box would show up and be completely trashed. And we'd have to be like, hey, the box is damaged, too much for us to use it. So we were like, okay, so we called it. They gave us a refund. They were very nice. But because we didn't get the box we were getting, I didn't officially grocery shop. Like I bought some stuff, but I was like, oh, the box is coming. I'm not gonna buy a lot. And I was like, we have some stuff in the freezer we can work through. So not a huge deal. These Wellingtons were in the freezer. So that's why I'm making them. And also Krista hurt her back. So she was like, she also kind of was looking forward to doing like a nice meal at home. So we're doing Wellingtons tonight and then instant mashed potatoes because Krista likes them. They're easy to make. It's a bagged mashed potato that's supposed to taste like 4 cheeses. I put it in a pot and we're done. So yeah, that's the setup of dinner. Nothing against Every Plate. I understand they're like the budget version of HelloFresh, which also, did you know they own Factor? I feel like so many things are gonna go off when I upload this video because when we canceled, they were like, oh, would you like to sign up for Factor instead? And I was like, no. Krista told me she'd already said no, but I was like, no thank you. Like, just no. I have nothing against like a prepackaged meal ready to go, especially if you're like super busy, you just like have no time to cook it all. Like I totally get that. When I was a kid, we ate TV dinners all like on certain nights, like religiously, because my parents were super busy that night and we would like pick the TV dinners out in advance. Like it was a whole thing. Like you're going to pick your TV dinner because no one is cooking dinner tonight. You're going to microwave this while you babysit your brother and sister. Like that was the whole setup. So I am totally like, eat whatever you can afford, eat whatever you can get a hold of, eat whatever you're comfortable making, whatever. But like, I was just like, I don't want to have to find room in our fridge or freezer for these pre-made meals. Like we have a double, you can see behind me. They're small. Like it came with the house and they're just like very small sections because it's a side-by-side instead of an up and down. And so like it is hard to find room for stuff. And I was like, I do not want to try and figure out a way to fit Factor meals. Like also a lot of the Factor meals, nothing against them again, but like the ones I've seen, I'm like, I would rather either make that myself or that doesn't seem like something I want to have to just reheat. I was like, I'll just buy a TV dinner, which I know the point is like it's fresh and it's prepped and blah blah blah, but a lot of them I was like, I could just buy a TV dinner. Like, they sell them. There are really nice TV dinners in the world. I was like, go to the store, buy the TV dinners, wouldn't have to pay for shipping, and I'm sure they're slightly cheaper because they're frozen food instead of this, like, I think it's like packed fresh or whatever. But anyway, we're not doing any meal boxes right now. I have nothing against them. I think they're very helpful. I'm horrible at meal planning, so I have to get better at it because we're not getting the boxes. But like, I think they're very helpful. The issue is it just like wasn't fitting our needs anymore. I was frequently making everything that had ground meat into just like meatloaf, meatballs, even if it wanted me to do something else with it. And there were certain things that if we got them, we just wound up not liking them. For some reason, their cream sauce we weren't a fan of, which like you could jazz it up, you could make it better. In some things it was pretty good, but like we started getting more and more recipes that were like, add the cream sauce. And I was like, but we don't like the cream sauce. So it just was not a thing we're gonna do anymore. So I'll be doing more cooking, which you're gonna see. Oh, I promised you a Salem's Law update. I'm sorry this clip is so long. Ugh. I'm gonna take a sip of my wine. Hold on. Okay, I promise I will be quick. It's such a good, it's like a red blend. It kind of tastes like a light cab. Anyway, it's very good. So, Salem's Lot. So I only have 80 pages left. I promise not to spoil anything. I really do. I'm sure a lot of people are still coming to Salem's Lot in the oeuvre of Mr. King. I will say in this one, he has done some things that I don't like in his writing less. So it's actually been okay. So he has done it a little bit. So I don't appreciate descriptions of people that he has done in a number of books where it's just like describing a fat person in a way that is like very like rude to me. Like I just don't like it. And he has done that with one character, but it's only been one character. And I don't like it. I normally skim it when he starts talking about her. She's an older woman. She lives alone. Whatever. Like, there are people who are bigger. There's another woman, which was so interesting. This was what was interesting to me. In this one, he mentions that there's a bigger woman who runs a boarding house. And he's like, but she's not fat. She is just large. Like, he mentioned her breakfast and like made a snide comment, like her modest breakfast, without the quotes, but it was meant to be sarcasm because it was a big breakfast. But he was like, but she does all of this work. And I'm like, okay, but also like she could just be hungry. Like like some of that I don't appreciate. So that still happened a little bit. This one though, has, and I read The Shining and I know it's like alluded to in there. Yeah, I think it does actually happen too. It's been a minute since I read that. But there is, it's at least not as graphic. There is some very, very graphic child abuse and pseudo off-page spousal abuse. And I want to bring this up because it was very jarring to me when it happened. So we are introduced to a character who is very young. She might be 19 now. I can't really remember her age. We're introduced to a lot of characters in this, so it's really hard for me to keep names straight. And like, I understand he's building out Salem's Lot, so we feel like we're part of Salem's Lot, so we like know everyone, understand everyone, know the diversity. Everyone is a white person, but like know the different like setup of Salem's Lot and all of the people that live there. So you have an idea when things start going badly, who's missing, what their job was, or why this would be an issue, or like how they could have been caught up in vampire stuff. So we get a lot of that. We've gotten a lot of it throughout. We've gotten descriptions of where people are at a certain point after the sort of outbreak of vampires. Also, I should have said epidemic of vampirism, not pandemic, FYI, in an earlier clip, and I didn't realize it till after I was done filming. But so we've gotten a lot of description. Now, back to the child abuse element. So there's a young woman who's had a baby, and the baby is fussy. But she also does not want the baby. She's married to kind of her high school sweetheart, though sweetheart is a big stretch. She's home with the child all the time. The father works. He also then like doesn't really come home a lot. Like he goes out drinking, goes to the bar, and then he kind of like expects food to be on the table. Now, the father in this case does care about the kid, and he does actually cook some food. We see that happen. But in this, the mother snaps twice. Once on page, which was very startling, in which it says she punches her infant son in the face. So much so that like his eyes are swollen shut. It was rough to read, and I was like, I understand this is a horror book, but like I don't think this is an appropriate thing to include. And when the husband comes home, he's obviously pissed off. And then the wife refuses to take the baby to the hospital. In another scene, we're in the father's point of view. He comes home and the child's nose is bleeding, and he's like, I know he didn't like fall off something or bump into something, you hit him. Like, he is very aware of what she is doing. And then if you have not read the book, the baby comes back into it, which is very, I haven't gotten to the official appearance, but I know the child has disappeared, let's just say. And then there's another scene, and again, I cannot for the life of me remember anyone's name in this scene. But there's a woman who is cheating on her husband with, I believe, a younger guy in town, and her husband catches them. And when he does, a lot of very violent things happen, and then to the guy who is doing the cheating, like who is sleeping with this woman. And the guy's like, get out of town, get on the next bus, get away, or I'll do something worse to you later. So that kind of doesn't exactly wind up happening, but I'm not getting into it because it'll be a spoiler. But then in this like very near the end section where we're focused on the lot, it's like the lot 4, it's the 4th chapter focused on the lot. The wife, they like mention faded bruises. She cannot sit down. She's making his favorite foods continuously. She's eating a little bit, but she barely wants to eat. And then it mentions that he is assaulting her every single night. I don't care that they're married. And I do think Stephen King is trying to be like, this man is horrible. But the issue is, just don't include that. He can be an awful man, and I don't need to think about this woman being just assaulted every night. I don't need that in this book. There's already a lot of horrible things happening to people. So like those are some things I don't like. Now I do appreciate this like very big setup of the lot. Like, these are all these people. This is what they do. This is who they are. This is how they're all connected. That is very interesting, even if I can't keep anyone's friggin' name straight. So it helps build the setting, even if my brain is like, guy number 7 over there. I also am liking the core like 4 or 5 characters that we've settled into, so I appreciate that. And it's interesting, I am liking the vampires in this a lot more than I have in some other vampire books I've read recently. I do think I spotted where, I promised I wasn't going to talk about it anymore, but I'm bringing it up. I do think I spotted the moment where Nat Cassidy, the guy who wrote Nestlings, where he got the idea for Nestlings, and there is a point at which a vampire is compared to something that is very relevant to his book. So I was like, that's where that came from. Because he says the Salem's Lot reference is very specific, but his vampires do not, wait, they're not even, his creatures, I'm gonna call them, in that book, do not act the way that the Salem's Lot characters, like creatures do. So it's been interesting. I am intrigued to finish it, and then I need to figure out which adaptation we're watching. I know there's a movie. I'm thinking I'll just track down the movie instead of the mini-series. I believe there's both. If not, we're just watching the movie because I know a movie exists. And then I have to figure out what book I'm reading after this. I have Silence of the Lambs, but that's not a vampire. Though I could just call this People Who Eat People. I could do that because Silence of the Lambs is a library book and I need to get it back. So maybe I'll just do that. I'll probably do Silence of the Lambs next. Don't worry, there will be plenty of more vampire content coming up because I want to reread Interview with a Vampire and Southern Vampire's Guide, or Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I've read this before, so this would be rereads, and I really want to read the entire Vampire Academy series. But this clip has been way too long. I am so sorry. I'm gonna go because I need to finish dinner, but thanks for keeping me company. Oh, super fast. This is the little Wolverine. He's very cute. The cup is lenticular, so I don't really think you'll be able to tell. The dog is woofing at something. And then really fast, this is Popcorn Bucket with lid. But there you go. I thought I would show you that. Thank you for sitting for this very long clip. I'm so sorry it was so long. I did not anticipate that, but I'm cooking and I'm just by myself down here. I'm also watching Gabby's Katie Coulson video, so that's fun. But I will let you go. I will talk to you when I finish Salem's Lot. And yeah, then I'll probably read Silence of the Lambs, and this will just be the people eating people. Oh, and I'm making, well, it's not lamb, but it's fancy food. Hannibal would approve. All right, I will talk to you later. Sorry for the length of this clip again. Hi, I'm holding you really awkwardly. We're at Michael's and the new collection is here, but there's a couple things from the old collection I didn't show you that I think just showed up, but we're gonna go look at the new stuff in just a second, so here you go. This like orange poofy spider pillow, and then this like white pumpkin with spiders. I don't remember these. I kind of like this, but this isn't really in a color palette I put out at all. My Halloween decor style is kind of all over the place, but those are cute. All right, we're gonna walk, enjoy these little pumpkin guys while I head to the other collection, and then I'll pick back up in a sec. Ta-da! So this is the like, I don't know the names of collections, didn't look it up, but this is the like black collection. Oh my gosh, they have the Ichabod Crane thing. So the little planters, which I don't do plants, so that's not happening. We have Dracula, we have Frankenstein, we have little fake books that say the same thing. We have palm reading, which is like a plate thing. Crystals, coffee, what's this? Oh, death. Actually, I kind of like this. How much are you? Well, it's only 10 bucks. Maybe worth it. We have a thing almost exactly like that at home. There's a bust. They were supposed to get some Headless Horseman stuff. There's that. Fake plants. And then me, myself, and my cat. Hi. Cat, very witchy. Oh, it's a smaller version of my little bat friend. I have him. I got him last time because they happened to have him. So this is the Midnight Moon collection. And then some of that, which is in some like witchy triptychs. Same thing that I already showed you. That one is very creepy. Cool little broom. Then I'm gonna do a big panel on the bottom. There's some stuff I've already seen. Got Will You Rot With Me. I don't understand the gum, I'm sorry. It's not really my style. I think some of them can be cute, but I wouldn't decorate with it. Sorry, I knew I was gonna cough. Dead Inside. Till We Are Ghosts, darling. That's cute. Like a ghostly bride and groom. More ghostly things. My brother is getting married in October to his very amazing fiance, and I jokingly told Krista I would have done a corpse bride theme if we got married in October. We got married in December, so we did kind of like a snowflakey themed wedding with some like fun stuff, but this would be perfect for the fake theme I was talking about. It really would be, like it totally would be. All right, but we're gonna switch. So I'm gonna move over here. This is just some like inbox. I'm not really gonna show you the inbox stuff because it's just kind of boring for me, but I have not seen this collection. So this is like all white Halloween. So like everything is like creams, like sparkle. It is very cool. There's been a ton of variations on that veiled woman thing. And historical site, haunted house, spooky art, built in a window, similar candelabra, just in a different color, some veiled lady stuff over there, like creepy mirror art. That piece, the wolves are giving me just very much Game of Thrones. Oh, they did the Parlor of Curiosities in white. See, that looks like a wedding bouquet broom. Little curiosities, love potion, freaks like me drink tea, plates. It's like a white witch, little curio cabinet, specter with candle, pumpkins. Holy. Okay, this is actually kind of cool, but really big. This is Poison Garden, which little mushrooms, I wish I didn't have the Wicked Witch and her toad live here. Like, I wish that said something else. Tray, pastel flowers, spider guy, and we'll end you on this really cool moth. Ooh, actually this one's cooler. Very cool moth. And that's everything. Hello, I'm filming this super, super quick because Krista and I are about to eat lunch. The 5-wick sale, or 5-wick, good lord, the 3-wick sale is actually happening this weekend. So literally, I filmed all of that Bath & Body Works stuff, and it's here. Like, I could get the candles. We just happened to go back to the mall because I wanted to smell that apple candle and just like walk around a little. And so we went, and I saw that they were on sale, and so I got vampire blood and pumpkin carving. The apple one was okay, but I feel like if I'm gonna get like a standard apple candle, I'll just get it from wherever. And the Boutini was good, but Krista said she didn't need it, so I just got these two so that I have new ones for this year. I was right, the super fancy lids, like the like lacy looking one for vampire blood, was not included. It was almost $40, so I did not get that. And then pumpkin carving only came in this version, but I really don't care about the labels because it'll be in a candle holder anyway. So got those. And then this is a backup Ichabod Crane tombstone. Krista hunted everywhere for this last year so we could put it with our Headless Horseman stuff. And she found one, but we're really worried that it'll get broken because I have a Billy Butcherson tombstone and it got cracked 3 years ago and we still can't get a replacement, so I just like hodgepodged a fix for it. So this is gonna be our backup so that we have one just in case. So yeah, productive Halloween related shopping that I was not planning to do today. And yeah, I got to look at all that Michael stuff I just showed you, which I had no idea they were doing an all white collection, and I was surprised that ours even got both already, so that was really cool. It looked like they were gonna get more stuff later, but I'm gonna go so we can eat. Just wanted to show you the teeny tiny haul, and I love the 3-wick sale because I got both of these for the price of one. Yes. All right, I will talk to you later when I finish Salem's lot because I'm so close. All right, bye. Hi, we're at Joanne's. They got stuffs, much stuffs. Some of this you might have seen before. Oh yeah, no, my bat's from here. Yeah. It's the exact same bat though, so it's the same company. Just, I think that guy's new. Again, I'm very sure I showed you some of this already, but they did get new stuff, so I'm doing my best to show you like handfuls of stuff. But I know you saw like the Galaxy stuff.
The bars that are over here.
New. Ooh, coming. Sucks. Count Quackula. That's adorable. Oh yeah, this is all, I think some of this is new. Oh, horrible. Brain. Can't words. Sorry guys. It's pink. Folks. We had agreed I was gonna call you folks. Sorry folks. And more socks. I know the socks weren't here. Oh, those are like cute socks. Yeah, like a little lace over the knee. And they're 30% off. Good to know, good to know. Hello, you and your buds. Bonjour. These are fun. Too cute, too spook. I think, is that a corgi? Nah, pumpkin. Unwind. Count Draculam. Not that funny. Oh, there are candles. Just a casual peruse. Though again, I think you folks have seen some of this stuff. Candles.
You're gonna smell the candle.
Oh, it does smell nice. What's it called?
Your poison.
Creamy caramel juicy orchard apple. See, that smells almost like the Bath & Body one that I put back. The new apple one. Spooky spice. These. Oh, it kind of smells like pumpkin carving a little.
Yeah.
The 6th Spice Girl you didn't know you needed.
Oh wait, they didn't smell it yet.
There are also tapers. There are some like LED ones at the front, but all the tapers are over here. And there are a ton of candles over here. Oh, This one is Haunted Hollow, and it smells like...
It smells like your Old Spice.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it smells like Old Spice for sure.
I'm doing it. Don't do my job.
I was just turning them.
Yeah, one job. It smells like, tricks.
Oh, it does. It's trick or treat. Oh, that's clever. It's focusing on the pumpkin. That's not on you. That's as focused as it's gonna get. But it's trick or treat, which just smells like tricks or treats. Okay, which is elixir.
Smells like why?
Oh, it does. All of them are white, FYI. That's a pretty purple one. The Pick Your Poison was pretty too. Some of them are shiny and some aren't. Mystic Moon. Oh, it does. So it's, could we focus? I understand there's a jack-o'-lantern near you that you're really interested in. Oh goodness, it's not even you. It's just, oh, there we go, kind of. Finally. That's almost vampire blood, but like muskier, maybe? Alright, pillows. I think a lot of this I showed you last time. It just looks like they moved stuff. Paper goods. Those they didn't have before. So they've sold out of a lot of stuff because there's less stuff.
They have tablecloths.
Oh yeah. Some of those are really cute. Little ghosty guys. I think these were here. Sorted ghosts. Oh, and return it. Behold signage. Oh, that's fun. Those would be good for like a Beetlejuice watch party, I feel like. Because they do the sheet ghost thing before you go to see the new one. More ghosts. Some storage tubs, very helpful. Very tall brooms that just light up, they don't move. And it lights? Oh, hold on. Maybe the samples don't. There's a light bulb up there.
There is. Not working.
It says home sweet haunted home. Little witch legs, canisters in the wrong spot. LED. Ooh, flash warning. That's fun. A lot of ribbon. And some tulle. Pumpkin tree. Sorted skeleton folk. A lot of these were here before, but they have way less now, so stuff got bought. Seriously, this is $15. I have a skull like this in my office, and I swear it was in the $5 spot at a Target a long time ago. That's baffling. Inside. Oh, I'll come over. Death moth over there. There's a lot of fall on the other side, which I have nothing against. They just also have fall now. And then little solar bat. It's very cute. I think that might be it now. I'll briefly show you fall. Just here. As we turn the corner. Oh, there is some over. Oh, there's gnomes. A lot of gnomes. Oh, they're little wine cozies. Oh, that's cute. Not necessary for anything, but they're cute. You could attach them to lots of stuff. Yeah, this one's cleared out a little ways.
Nothing in this aisle is
I actually don't.
aisle said 40% off.
Yeah, another aisle says 40% off too, but this stuff might not be. I don't know for certain. Just looking at these. But yeah, I don't know. It is weird that there's no 40% off sign down here. I'll loop you down the other aisle. Possibly. Look at the gnomes. Okay, no one's down here. Oh, this is skeletons galore. Let's just walk the skeleton side. It's a tub of skeletons. Alien. Pumpkin. Classy but tiny. No, just pony. Pony. Cat. Gator. Pig. Teddy bear, I don't understand. Tiny. Tree hugger. Fake doorknob. Doorbell? Not a doorknob. So many things. Whoa! Krista scared the crap out of me. I didn't touch any of them. We're loud. Good gosh. Baby dragons. Skulls that light up. Merfolk. Small / folded skeletons. Teddy bear skeleton.
Wait for it.
Oh! That's funny. Dog with bone. Bird. Smooth.
Sounds sad.
No, it does. These guys. More dragons. Donkey. Goat. The goat is kind of cool, I will give it that. Goat head. More goat. Dragon. Crow, maybe? Little dog. Dragon. Bone bits and bobs. And then we turn mats. Some are fall. Some are Halloween. I'm gonna probably run into a skeleton behind me. When's this football season? The decorative boxes. People stocked up on those because there's very few left now. Light up and talking decor. Oh, interesting.
They don't know how
they work.
lit up they are.
Yeah.
You can come with the batteries in.
Ceramics. This one is very cute. Sorted pumpkins. Again, with no try me.
See, this one has the 40% off.
Yeah,
So.
see, that's what that has to be intentional then, I would guess, if one aisle doesn't have it. I can always find out. There's velvety pumpkins down there. Or this is almost everything. This is my exciting, I finished Salem's Lot Wander reward. Plus I had to charge the battery. Oh wow, people must really be doing Halloween trees because there were way more ornaments last time. Though, is this like, like a little balloony bat that has poison apple and sleep spell. Also perfect for like a Disney tree, I would think. Okay, I think that's everything. He doesn't talk surprisingly. Yeah, no, I think that's it because this is just like tumblers. So that's all the stuff. I don't think we're getting anything. We're just looking around. So I'm gonna go. I'll leave you with this cool spell book and I will tell you about my thoughts on the end of Salem's Lot very, very soon. Okay, this is quick because I don't really buy fabric, but Halloween fabric in case you want to see it. Because I did not show it to you last time. There's another rack. A lot of these are like duplicate-y. And in case I missed the end cap, I think you saw those before, and then these are just lights. There you go. Halloween at Joanne, part 2. Hello. You are getting a super quick update while I make pasta. So we decided, because we did Chipotle for lunch, which we've decided going forward, Krista and I are going to split a bowl because normally we each get a bowl and then both of us, either like one of us can't finish it or we both feel like super full and like uncomfortable after because like we don't really want to reheat it. We're just split a bowl going forward, so that's the plan. But I'm making pasta with crab and some kind of tomato marinade thing we picked up. So that's going on. But I did tell you I would talk about how I finished Salem's Lot, and I did. And I don't want to spoil anything, so I can't really tell you about the end of the book. Except I will tell you, Stephen King does the thing where like stuff ends, but also stuff doesn't end. So like the ending happens, but also like it feels slightly unresolved because like you don't get to see some things. Like we're supposed to assume some things have happened or know things are going to happen afterward, but we're not going to see them, which he does. He and his endings just not really there. Who knows, maybe I will feel differently when I read it. That is going to be the next official like vlog I do, is going to be a very spoilery reading of it for the first time. But yes, so at some point we're going to watch the Salem's Lot mini-series, and I am going to start reading Silence of the Lambs. So that'll probably happen sometime tomorrow. Krista's right there. She just took a shower. And she's wearing a cute new shirt. This is Do Not Disturb, and it has Sleepy Bear?
Yes, bedtime bear.
Bedtime Bear. I don't know all the Care Bears. But I'm gonna go because I need to keep an eye on this very boily pasta. So I will talk to you later. And Krista may talk to you later too. Who knows? We'll see. Bye for now. Hello, we're at Lowe's getting spool for our weed whacker. But we just had breakfast, which I didn't show you, but we went to where we always go. Beeze's, which is very tasty. But our Lowe's has Halloween stuff, so I'm gonna show you that Halloween stuff too. Getting a lot of Halloween decor this vlog. I hope you're enjoying it. But yes, let's rotate the camera. Got little flags. And then more little flags. Some rugs. I'll just show you the sign because I can't really like go through all of them. There's these. Oh, Krista said one of these little yard signs look like me. Which one is it? Oh, it's this one. It's the cat who's full of candy and slouching. And I agree. Though this Frenchie, adorable. All right, we have lots of pillows. I have similar pillows. We're not buying more pillows. These are cute, but bugs climb in them. So like anytime I've had them, if you put them on an exterior window, bugs. It's so gross, even if you do them inside. Spiders. Spiders. A lot of tombstones. We don't really do yard decor. We did one year and it got stolen. So we have some stuff we can put out, but we haven't. These are all little display pieces. I kind of like the stick-on window boards. Those are very fun. I wish they were sturdier. So projections. We're gonna see if the trimies work for these tall guys. Pumpkin carving, which we don't really do. We've done reusable pumpkin ones. Like the kind you can like carve and it's not a real pumpkin. You can keep. Some rugs. Not picking through them, I'm sorry. Then here, he looks so much like the one from Scooby-Doo. Pirate Captain. These crazy tall guys. All right, let's see. The button's really close to him and I don't know if it works, so.
Back, you evil monsters! Back! I'll harpoon you and build you to the shark if you enter this place! Get back!
Nice. I feel like I should dress like Velma and stand next to this display. Okay, he's done. I think this is this guy's.
Welcome, lost souls. Prepare yourself for the journey, for I witness the tides that come in to take you away by the hand of darkness that arrives without warning before the break of day.
So much talking. I mean, it's a lot of chatter. Nice, nice. Okay, tall guys. This is gonna be so awkward. Look at the tall guys while I hit the buttons. I think this is this guy's. Yep. They're so tall.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You will roam through the valley of death for all eternity. With all of us.
Wow. Okay. Now we got this guy whose push thingy is farther in and I'm probably gonna bump into something. Ugh. Ah, that did work as I tripped backwards. And interestingly enough, $3.49, $3.99, $3.49. Guessing you're a $3.99 champ. I can't see your thing. But, I mean, you get 6 extra feet for 50 bucks. Those are so tall though. So tall. Puppy. Shh. It's a cute dog. Anyway, alright. These are the things. Very Scooby-Doo. Very tall and creepy. Alright, gonna go. But ta-da! Halloween. I think this one's my favorite. He's so fun. So, I'm gonna go. We have to head home, but enjoy. I'm gonna push him one more time because he's really cool. He's gonna say bye.
I know they're down here. I just can't see them yet.
Hello, I'm very hot. So last thing you saw I think was like Halloween decor. We wound up actually going So we went to Krista's folks' house for a little bit because it's her mom's birthday. So we were there, and then her mom was looking for something that we knew was at Michael's. So we were like, oh, we'll stop at Michael's real fast, see if they have it. They didn't have it in her size. It was a shirt from Pride, my Corgi one. She actually wanted one because of their Corgi, but she needed a specific size, and it was on the like mega clearance rack, and there weren't any left. But we wound up stopping at TJ Maxx because it's in the same little plaza, solely because I was like, oh, it's air conditioned and I was super hot. I was like, we could go look at just like, see if anything new came in. Since the last time I was there, everything is new. Like, everything is completely different. So I didn't film with you because you weren't with me. So I did take a video on my phone that I'll probably post maybe tomorrow actually. But I did want to show you one of the cool things we got. So I've been trying not to buy stuff, I really have. But with all the like, they've announced there's a Care Bear Universal Monsters mashup, and they had this cup that's just super cute and glittery. And yes, it has the bamboo lid, but I'm gonna try and be careful with it for at least a little while so it doesn't run into the mold issue I've heard about. And then buy like silicone replacement lids when I think that one needs replaced. So I got that, and we got a really big Snoopy Halloween throw blanket for the bed / the couch, whatever, because we need really big fleece blankets, and they're really hard to find actually. So we got that one, super soft, it's very cute. So we grabbed that while we were there, but there's way more stuff, like so much more stuff. And that's really it that we got for us. We picked up a couple gift things, not for us, so I'm not gonna show you the rest of it, but I am going to inform you that I will not be talking about the book with a cannibal in it anymore. I'm not going to cut out the part where I say the title of the book, because the title of that book is also a movie. And I had talked about Hannibal, the series, which I think it's more based on a different book, but I think is also by the same publisher. So as it turns out, that particular book is like a backlist book from St. Martin's Press. And St. Martin's Press currently has a boycott going on. I don't know. I know a lot of people are trying to avoid their stuff. I just didn't realize it was, because much like when I read a Kindle book and I don't look at the publication page, there's nothing. It's actually probably under the shelf tag. So because the library book, parts of the book are covered with like tags or stickers and stuff like that. So I didn't notice that it even had any publication information on it, and I just didn't think to Google it because I was like, oh, I'm just gonna read it. It's on like the second page of the book, and I was like, oh crap. So I'm not gonna talk about that in this vlog anymore. I am going to though continue to talk about Salem's Lot because that seems in the clear. And we're at some point going to watch the mini series, and I may try and watch the movie. So the only other things you're gonna get are discussions of like, sorry, I'm really hot, the Salem's Lot adaptations. So that'll end this. So this will really just be vampires and home decor really as a vlog, which I think is fun, but that'll be it. So I'm not mentioning it anymore. I just thought I would educate you on the St. Martin's Press boycott, even though you probably already heard about it. But that's on me. I just didn't think to check. And so I'm just not gonna talk about it anymore. But again, I'm not gonna go back and pull out the fact that I said the title of the book a few times, because the title of that book is also a movie. So I'm just like, I already said it. I've said it like on, I thought I had posted about it, but I hadn't, thankfully. But sorry, just saying the name of it, I'm like, it hedges on the this is not great, but it's such a well-known franchise that I'm kind of like, would anyone have even known if I hadn't said something? So I just not gonna talk about it anymore. Thought I would let you know about the boycott if you needed that information in your life. And so you'll just be getting some more Salem's Lot stuff. Also, I now have library holds coming in, possibly all of next week. So I guess it might not be my next vlog. It may actually involve some horror books that I requested that seem to be coming in. Though again, in case you don't know my saga of the Honey Witch, I requested that back in February or March. I think March. I still don't have it. I still don't. I'm still #1 on the waiting list. I've been #1 on the waiting list for months. I still don't have it. And I still won't have it because it's not one of the books that says in transit. So who knows if I'm getting that book. But I'm going to be reading whatever holds show up. So I'm just going to vlog whatever holds show up for the next, like, after this is done. And then I'll do it as soon as I'm caught up on library holds. So I'm going to go because I'm very hot and I need to finish drinking my very cold can of seltzer water that was in the fridge. And then I think Krista and I are just going to relax on the couch because we're both super tired. She's actually mowing. I told her she shouldn't mow because she hurt her arm and it's really hot out, and she was like, no, I'm not gonna do very much, it's fine. So she's doing a little bit and then coming in, but hopefully we just rest in the living room. We also had to fix a back step. A couple of the screws got goofy. Our porch kind of, like, if it rains, water comes off the porch and it hits one of the steps a lot. And the screws on that had like rusted a touch, I think. So we just replaced them and put in additional screws that should help. But yeah, so that's the update for you. We'll be talking about Salem's Lot adaptations for the rest of this vlog. Also, this vlog was really long to begin with. So I realized it's super long at this point and I was like, oh no, this is such a long vlog. But yeah, so I will talk to you later about Salem's Lot adaptations. Probably not until we finished one of them. So it might be a little bit, but I'll fill you in, then I'll close out the vlog. So I will talk to you later with adaptation things. Hello, it has been very, very busy. My fan is on. I believe I've heard it in videos and it's not that bad, so I'm just gonna leave it because I'm hot. I have updates on the Salem's Lot mini-series. So Krista did agree to watch the mini-series with me. It was only like a $5 rental for the entire thing on Amazon Prime, which is a pretty decent deal since it's like 3 hours long. So we did watch the whole thing. It is apparently from TNT, like TNT aired it in the early 2000s. It stars Rob Lowe and there are a lot of actors you would recognize in it. What's interesting is it's modernized. So it is set in the early 2000s. People have cell phones. The most recent war is Vietnam, so they talk about the Vietnam War in connection to one character. It is very, very different though. Like, names are similar, or like the same names are used but that character acts very differently, or a character is added, or characters are combined, which is very strange. And I was like explaining to Krista, like, well, no, that guy in the book is like a hero character, but in this one they've made him the cheater, even though the cheater was a different character, and like so many things are just like altered or tweaked. Mark is being raised by a single mom instead of a mom and a dad, and everyone is aged up. So everyone is a little bit older. The only character that is not older is the infant, but the infant just like comes into the hospital and has like a small contusion, which is completely different to the book because the baby is never taken to the hospital or seen by a doctor after events with the mother. And in this, the mother is like using the child for personal gain in a sense, but the father is the one who is abusive. But that's not how it was in the book. We also don't see anything bad happen to the baby, even though bad things happen to the baby in the book. The baby is kind of like shepherded away from everything. It also has a completely different opening, where we are definitely not in Mexico, or I'm not even sure where we are. And then like Callahan is shown again, even though in the book, as a slight spoiler, Callahan just kind of leaves at a certain point. And in this movie, we decided to catch back up with him, which is very interesting. It's a miniseries movie, whatever. It's 3 hours and it's all kind of smooshed together, but they do show credits in the middle. So it was way, way, way different. And so like, even like Straker, his appearance is different, his behavior is different. The house is very different, and the setup of how Ben interacted with the house is different too. They have that he showed up on the night of the events that haunt the house, but in the book that happened long before and Ben kind of just thought he saw something. So that is different. Humorously, Krista pointed out that oh gosh, why am I messing up his name? The head vampire dude, he is actually played by the Master character, who has another name, in the Buffy movie. I couldn't remember his name. She said his name, but he's kind of like the big bad vampire character. He's playing the big bad in this. And then what is also interesting to me is when the women become vampires, some of the younger women, they get crimped hair and like massive eye makeup looks, which is very in keeping with like certain versions of Buffy. There's a Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode with an alternate reality where like all the vampires are kind of like gothy, like sex pots. So that's what I was getting. Like I was like, oh my gosh, it's so wild. So I thought it was really fun, but it is very definitely not even remotely close. The positive though is that they actually have one character who's not white. I think it's only one. Yeah. I think it's Andre Browner. He was Captain Holt in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He is in it as Matt, the teacher, and he is technically gay. They say he's a bachelor for life and that his like personal life just has to stay out of the classroom, and then like a male character kind of like really hits on him. It's a very strange sequence, but we have someone who is not white and who is gay, which is a departure from the source material, but a pleasant element to include. So that was nice. But I am gonna try, so oh my gosh, I always forget her actual YouTube name, so I'm gonna look it up because I always remember her Instagram and not her YouTube. So one sec, I'm gonna pull it up so I say the right thing. Gosh dang it. Katrina Brown. So she said the movie is much better and that she'd actually kind of blocked the miniseries from her mind. So I told Krista I wasn't going to make her watch both. I thought the miniseries would be more fun for us to watch together. So sometime between like today and tomorrow, I'm going to put the movie on. Katrina thought it was on Tubi, so I will check. It has been so wildly busy at work that my lunch break is literally the first time I've been able to talk to you, and I just like, I have had YouTube on that I was catching up with that I didn't have to pay like a lot of attention to, but like I have been slammed all day because I was out. So yeah, it's been busy, very busy. And yeah, so I just haven't had time. I'm gonna look for it after lunch and see if I can track it down, maybe throw it on. Based on the images I've seen, it is definitely going to be closer to the book, but also I think the big bad vampire guy is gonna throw me off so much because that's not how I pictured him. In all the images he has a very like Nosferatu setup, and I was picturing him more as like a, not Bram Stoker's Dracula, but like a Dracula-ish character, like possibly not refined, but more like very pale, could have like slightly pointed ears but look more human-y, as opposed to Nosferatu-y, if that makes a good comparison, I guess. So we shall see. I will try and track it down. I will let you know. And then that update, once I'm able to watch it, will close out this vlog. So miniseries was a fun time. Very goofy, very wild, a lot of interesting edits with like strange flashback puppy things. But it was fun to watch it. We could not watch it with the dogs. So there is literally one dog in the book. And we have, both of our boy dogs bark at dogs on TV. And I was like, oh, it should be totally fine. There's only one dog. What were we thinking, TNT? There's like 70 dogs. There's 70 dogs and a bunch of seagulls. And I knew there would be rats, but they don't really notice rats because they're low to the ground and they're dark and the scenes are dark. But I was like, seriously, how many dogs are going to be in this movie? How many dogs? How many dogs? I was expecting one dog who only appears once, and it is sad. Like, I wasn't expecting consistent, like, he has a dog, there are more dogs, there's a dog over there, there's a dog over there. I was like, this is driving me up a wall. I was not prepared. We did have to put one of the boys in his crate for a timeout, and like, it's a huge crate. And we had to put a blanket over him because he was just getting so worked up that there were dogs. He was like, ah, ah. He was just like barking a lot, and it stresses him out, and we were trying to reduce his stress level. So we did take some breaks, but we did finish the whole thing and try and keep him as calm as possible because we felt bad because there were so many dogs. But I'm gonna go eat because I've already used a hunk of my lunch break to not eat, and I'm starving. So I will be back to you when I finish the original adaptation of Salem's Lot, which is also roughly 3 hours. It could have been a mini-series and they're calling it a movie because if I remember, my work called the original It a movie, but it is a mini-series. Like, it's a very long mini-series that is combined onto one disc that you had to flip over, if I remember correctly. But I will let you know. So I will talk to you later about more Salem's Lot. Oh, I did want to give, I know this clip is long, I'm so sorry, there have been so many long clips, but I did want to say the one thing that throws me off in all of this, like in the source material, in this adaptation, if you're a vampire, wouldn't you try not to turn everyone? Or like find a way for not everyone to become a vampire? I understand that it seems like once you bite them, they are turned and you need to eat, but I would think you would like want to find a workaround. So like, you don't deplete your food supply as a vampire. Like, you need blood. So don't turn everyone into vampires. Is there a way around that? Do you have a workaround? Can you like stab them and suck on them without biting them? Does that work? Like, hi, I have this handy scalpel. I'll just like, pop, ah, done. And then they're not a vampire? Like, I don't know. I was just like, if I were in charge of these things and was a vampire, I would really make sure that me and my other vampires would have food and we wouldn't just like eat everyone and then turn them into us, and then we'd all just be really hungry and have no food. Just my own thought. Anyway, I will talk to you about the original adaptation later. super speedy update. My lunch is definitely over. Well, ending in like 2 seconds. But during my lunch break, Krista and I were talking about it, and she actually said she'd be cool watching the 1970 movie. So we might watch that tonight, and you can rent it on a number of things. The cheapest rental was on Amazon for like $3.50. It's not on Tubi anymore. It may be back on something. It could be on Shudder, and it's not saying it is because I don't have Shudder right now. But we're gonna watch it, I think, tonight on Amazon. So I just thought I would let you know. Krista and I will watch it together, and then you'll get final thoughts. But that was a super quick, wanted to tell you update before I get back to work, because she was like, oh, I'd watch it, that's fine. So not watching it by myself, watching it with my wife. We can compare, we can contrast. Maybe we'll both be in the final clip of the video. I'll see if she wants to do that. But I will talk to you later when we've actually watched it. So bye for now. Talk to you about the original 1970 something Salem's Lot in mere moments for you, not for me. I have a bunch of work left to do. Hello. I do not have makeup on. I'm tired. My hair is still down. It will be up later, but you won't see it because this is the end of the vlog. So I'm gonna pour coffee while I'm talking, because if I don't, I'll just be very tired. But we did watch, sorry, I'm gonna cough. Okay, all of the original, it is technically a miniseries too, of Salem's Lot from 1979. And I am to tell you Krista's official review first, which is that it was hot garbage, slow, and not entertaining. Okay. So I can definitely see why people like this one. This one is actually set during the time period the book would be set in. So I am just saying, like, Krista didn't like it. I also thought it was so slow. And I don't understand how the 1979 adaptation changes so many things from the book that, like, don't make sense to me for why they were changed. So, okay, they take out some parts. Like, they basically take out the baby, which is totally fine. They make a vague reference to, there was a baby, like, at a random point. But please explain to me why Floyd Tibbets becomes Ned Tibbets. The doctor, instead of being a friend of Burke's, he is now Susan's dad. Burke is now named Jason instead of Matt. And then as soon as Jason, this is a mild spoiler, so I'm sorry, but there's a point where Jason, actually I won't really spoil it, not Jason. His name's Jason in this. Burke. We're just gonna call him Burke. So in the book, at a point, Burke winds up in the hospital. When he is in the hospital, he then becomes sort of like the idea man. So he's planning all of the, like, how we're gonna get Barlow, how we're gonna get Straker, how we're gonna save the lot, blah, 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 blah. When Burke in this movie, specifically the 1979 one, like, goes to the hospital, he disappears. Like, he's just not in the movie anymore, which doesn't make any sense to me because he's supposed to be their idea guy. Then, on top of that, they screw up Mark's story. Like, the timeline of events in the book for Mark is completely altered. So, in the book, Mark does something to upset Barlow. Then, in retaliation, Barlow goes after Mark and his family. In this movie, Mark and Father Callahan go to his parents before Mark has done anything at all, which doesn't make any sense. I don't even know if the priest name in this is Father Callahan because they just keep calling him Father. But they show up at Mark's, Barlow attacks, and then Mark goes to the Marston house, which is backwards. And on top of that, I'm gonna wait. Then Father Callahan disappears, or the priest, or whatever. He's barely in it, even though in the book he actually is useful and has a plot that shows up. What else did they do? Ben is dumb. Ben makes so many dumb decisions in this. Like, he doesn't, like, have stuff that he needs. He, like, doesn't even look for Susan. And, like, he's just so useless seeming. Like, he just, like, can't get it together. And, like, the parts of the book where they're, like, planning and figuring stuff out, they don't do those. So we don't see Ben, like, talking through things or, like, trying to help figure stuff out. He's just, like, off with Susan's dad, which is weird. And the doctor, who is now Susan's dad, doesn't get bit, because in the book, they get bit, and there's, like, a whole thing about, like, getting bit and what to do and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, why would you change all that in 1979? Like, I get it was on TV, but, like, I don't understand why you changed so many names, so many plot points, and, like, I understand combining characters. Like, they completely wrote out the dump which makes no sense to me because the dump was important. They also then give the dog, which I knew this was gonna happen. So the dog in the book belongs to a character who doesn't really do anything. He's just like a side character with a dog that he loves, which is lovely. In the 2004 one, the dog is given to the bus driver. The bus driver isn't even in this movie, like the 1979 one. So they give the dog to, it's a Mike, who works at the cemetery. But there's a scene where Mike is supposed to encounter a vampire, and that happens in broad daylight, which is impossible in this universe. So those are weird things that I don't understand. So like, characters are combined, characters are left out. And like, I understand tweaking a character or altering a character, but I don't understand changing all these character names and then like making Susan's dad be the doctor when like, why would he be hanging out with Susan's dad? Why? It makes way more sense for it to be Matt's friend, Matt Burke, whose name is not Matt in this, it's Jason, which is bizarre. And then they actually get rid of a character who's important very early on. They do the cheating scene in this one though, which like was frightening, but also like we didn't get the conclusion from that happens in the book. And we got the spousal abuse that I didn't want. Like why put that in and then not have the comeuppance element that occurs? Like I just don't get it. The biggest thing that annoyed me, and this is no one's fault. I mean, it kind of is. So when Barlow appears, he is creepy. He is supposed to look like Nosferatu, which is not how I pictured him in my brain. But in this, he looks like Nosferatu. The downside is, the prosthetic teeth they have in that man mean he can't talk. His entire mouth is like, he can't make words because the teeth are too long. So Straker gets all of Barlow's cool villain lines, when Straker is not the bad guy. Straker is basically Renfield. Like, do you want to watch Dracula and have Renfield give you all the talking points? No, you want Dracula to do all the like, I don't drink wine, or whatever. That's the only one that came to mind. I have not watched Dracula. I haven't read Dracula in a bit. I want to this year. I have not watched Bram Stoker's in a bit. Also want to watch that this year. And he has good lines in Van Helsing, but we're not getting into that right now. I love that movie so much. But like, I don't, like, Stricker like showed up while Barlow was doing all this stuff and he's like saying all these lines he says to Callahan, and I was like, why are you here, Stricker? This is supposed to be his big villain introduction moment. Like, why are you ruining it? And then I was like, oh, he can't talk. Because literally the prosthetics are like pointed down, and I really think he can only be like he can only open. He can't enunciate because I think it's like all the way back in his mouth. So, I mean, that's a guess, but like based on how long they were, I don't see how you can talk. Also, he's wearing a lot of stuff. Like, it's a very intense Nosferatu like mask makeup situation up in here. So it's possible his mouth can't really move enough to enunciate words. But I was a little let down. I just don't understand. I was expecting this one to be like almost beat for beat, or if it wasn't beat for beat, closer. Like The Shining, not beat for beat, but it's fine, fits. Misery, definitely not beat for beat, but the movie is very good. Carrie is also not beat for beat from the book, but Carrie the movie is also good. This was too long, and I understand that this book is pretty long, but the It book, like It, is way bigger than this one because I had them next to each other. And its miniseries is also only like 3 friggin' hours. So explain to me how this was 3 hours. Also, how is the 1979 one 3 hours when they've taken out every planning moment, every trying to find Barlow moment, every like, we gotta look through the town to see what's going on, every moment where they're actually acting like heroes in a story? Where did that go? Why was I getting like Susan and Ben by the lake forever? And then like, just nonsensical like, oh, I'm meeting you at the diner, Ben, because I have 26 minutes. Like, what? I didn't need any of that. Also, why was Susan in Boston? Like, I'm just like, why was some of this stuff happening? Like, we just lost so much to like not do extra stuff. Like, I don't get it. So, this is probably sacrilege. Probably. You're gonna say it's sacrilege, and it's fine. I'm gonna say, watch the Rob Lowe miniseries, because while yes, it is not perfect. It sets this book in the early 2000s. It's a delightful time. Especially if you like watched a lot of movies in the early 2000s. It like does all those things that you expect. Like goofy editing where things are in like invert like coloring, and like, does he have a cell phone? No, there's no cell phones. Ah, like that one just like was not exact either. Neither one of these is a particularly good adaptation, but I just at least thought the TNT one from 2004 was more fun. And Krista at least was like okay with that one. She was not like overjoyed to be watching it, but at least like that one didn't feel like it was interminably long. Yeah, I'm so confounded. I don't know why they changed so many names. I don't know why you would make the makeup for Barlow so it seems like he cannot speak and Straker has to speak for him when that's not how that relationship works. Like, I just don't get it. It's so strange to me that you would cut out all the like, these are vampires and this is what we have to do scenes. And like, the end of that movie is completely different. They like do the actual end of the movie, like of the book, early. And I was like, okay, that's fine, just end it now. No, we then jump back to where we were at the beginning of the movie. And then something happens where I'm like, why? Why is this here? Like, why? Also, if you didn't know, Susan in the 1979 one is the wife and presumed innocent. She is Barbara Savage. And she is McLean. She's from Die Hard. She's the wife. I think it's Holly McLean. We looked this up yesterday because she looks familiar. But yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry if you like that one. You can like whatever you like. I can like whatever I like. I'm just sorry that I like. Also, as a fun fact, and you're probably gonna think I'm bafflingly weird. I fell asleep when I watched the It miniseries. I'd seen it before, but I fell asleep at a certain point when I watched that, and I probably would have fallen asleep during this too. It's just very long. The miniseries is very long. I did rewind it and finish it, but I fell asleep when they were kids. So this doesn't surprise me that the miniseries version didn't hold my attention because this happens, but I'm so sorry. Like, I really thought it would be a great adaptation, but I just don't understand why things were cut out, why names were changed, why plot points got moved around. Like, Mark's story lost all impact in that because they swapped how it worked. And I'm still pissed that Barlow couldn't talk. He's the bad guy. Like, don't make your bad guy unable to talk. Unable? You'd be unable to talk. Like, just don't do that. He's the bad guy. Anyway. This video has been very long for me reading Woman Eating, which is not a long book, and Salem's Lot, which is, it's like 400 and some odd pages. But still, this has been a long video. So I'm gonna go. I'm very sorry if you love the Salem's Lot 1979 adaptation. I really am. I just like, I don't get it. I don't get why it's so different from the book and how the 2004 one would stick actually closer to the book, even though it's set in a different time period. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I would think in 79 you'd have been like, yeah, let's use the source material, but no, let's just vaguely use the source material and change everyone's name. So Catherine just goes, that's not your name, over and over. Also, Ned Tebbets is almost impossible to say quickly because I was like, well, Ned Tebbets, like I could not say his name. I was like, his name is supposed to be Floyd freaking Tibbets. Floyd Tibbets, much easier to say. Anyway, I hope you liked this very all over the place video. There's Halloween decor. We went to the movies. I read 2 books. I watched a lot of adaptations of Salem's Lot. But yeah, I don't know. I was gonna do It next. I really was. But I actually forgot and then remembered and then forgot and then remembered yesterday that Jan Agaton's full moon readathon starts on the 1st, so I might attempt to do that because it's like 13 days and there's like 4 different prompts and 4 different characters you can do. So I might do that, but I'm not gonna plan really. I'm seeing what other holds come in at the library. I know one is in Incidents Around the Home, and I know some I'm first in line, but Lord knows what that means because some of these books mysteriously do not want to be read by me, I guess. But we'll see. I'm gonna try and do it a little bit, even if it's just like doing one character over the course of like the next 2 vlogs. We'll see. If you liked this, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of me, please subscribe. If you have your own thoughts about Salem's Lot, please let me know in the comments below. I'm very intrigued to know what people think about both of these adaptations, or if you've only seen one. they are both pretty cheap to rent on Amazon if you want to watch them. Or your Woman Eating thoughts, or really any vampire book thoughts, because I want to read a lot of vampire books in the fall. I have some prepped already, but if you have any suggestions, please let me know. I think that's it. Oh, you can also find me on Instagram at CliffGloverAfter. But subscribe, like, all the things. And I gonna go. Bye, internet people.